As a back pain, disc herniation, and sciatica coach, I don't even care about getting you pain free. Now, of course, that's an exaggeration, but my point is pain free and actually getting your life back are totally different things. And if pain free was the sole goal, then for me, what's the point? What's the point on being pain free but still moving like a robot? What's the point in being pain free and still not able to travel with your family because of your back? Still not able to plan long day trips or long car journeys or long hikes with your family, or still not be able to go that evening run that you used to love going 5 years ago, 10 years ago, however long. Pain free and back to yourself is not the same thing. You can be pain free and still be scared to pick up your kid. You can still just not trust your back with all these different situations. What I actually care about is getting your life back. And of course, that involves not being in pain as well. You're just getting out of the cycle completely. Feeling young again. Feeling like yourself again. Feeling like you no longer need to cancel plans or constantly think twice about whether you can actually commit to plans or whether you can't, whether you can make that weekend your child's weekend game, or whether you can go watch your team, your sport at the weekend without having to constantly shift around, whether you can sit and work without having to constantly shift around. So I'm probably not the only person in this online space that you've seen, or the only video like this that you've clicked on or watched, whatever, right? But I'm probably saying, and I probably am going to say, a lot of the things that these people won't say out loud. So bear with me. It's going to be all about my identities, my values, my beliefs, and just why I do what I do and my beliefs around doing what I do. So you've probably came from my Instagram or maybe other YouTube videos. You'll know a small bit about me, about what I do, etc. But you probably don't know why it all came about and why my values, why I started the video with I don't care about getting you pain free, which of course pain free is important, but you'll soon to understand what I mean. So I've got some notes up in front of me. We're just going to have a conversation with each other, basically. But you can't talk to me, it's just me talking. So because of the beliefs at the start of being pain free and getting back to yourself are just two completely different things, right? I don't believe, sorry, that you need to stretch every single day for the rest of your life. I don't believe you need a 45-minute core routine, foam rolling routine, or at 6 in the morning before you go into work, or a weekly massage, or seeing a chiropractor 2-3 times a week. These temporary fixes that you know about. And that not because these things are just totally useless, but because I believe that you desire your mornings. I want to give you your mornings back where you can just wake up and not even think about your back. You don't have to check in with it when you wake up. Oh, how's it feeling today? Right, just a 20-minute stretch that I need to do. Just a 20-minute stretch routine, then I'll be fine. I don't want that for you, because let's be honest, that's not what you done when you were in your 20s. That's not what you done when you were in the best shape of your life and you were active and your back didn't hold you back from anything. That is my belief that I want to get you back to. My belief is that I want to get you back to that person. And if getting back to yourself is the actual goal, then these routines aren't even the answer. It's just you're still stuck in the cycle because you've probably done the routines and you're still stuck. You're still watching this video, or you're still, looking for alternative options. So let's talk about why I got into this. What makes my story different? Because it seems to be a lot of people maybe had their own back pain, or they had a herniated disc, or whatever. But my story's a bit different. So you can probably tell I'm quite young. Thankfully, fortunately, I've never experienced excruciating back pain, nothing to what I'm sure you've been in. So, where does my passion come from? Around 2 years ago, I opened up a clinic, just a traditional physical therapy clinic in Glasgow in Scotland. If you don't know Scotland, then it's in the UK. I opened up a physical therapy clinic and it took off basically straight away and it was going really well, back to back appointments, seeing 30, 40, 50 people every single week. The dream, right? Exactly what you're wanting. Exactly, the life that I manifested, the life that I wanted. But something wasn't right though. Something just didn't feel right. Too many people were coming through into my clinic and they were particularly with back pain and disc herniations, but also with other things. But let's just talk about back pain and disc herniations. And people were coming in with no hope and they just wanted temporary relief because that's all the system had gave them and that's all they thought the system could give them. They'd been and seen a chiropractor. They'd stretched every day and done core routines and tried to do all these magic fixes like foam rolling and massage guns and whatever. And they knew these things would maybe help for a day, maybe a couple of days. And that's why they were coming to see me. And I didn't like that. That just didn't feel right to me. Just managing these people through pain instead of actually beating the pain. It's like, what is the point? They've been stuck for years. Temporary relief isn't going to do anything. So, of course, I started trying to fight the system. Basically, I hated the healthcare system. Loved my job, of course. I loved running a clinic. It was amazing meeting new people every single day. And I tried to fight the system and start committing, getting people to commit to long-term plans, being like, right, let's start here and let's rebuild this. Let's do it from the ground up. But I was fighting against a system that was built around temporary relief. I was fighting something, I was fighting a losing battle, basically. Because I mean, when you're seeing 50 people per week, maybe you're working 5, 6 days per week, so you're seeing about 9, maybe 10 clients every day. You're getting to the end of the day and you're just totally, I mean, you can't even remember your third client's name, for example. And to get these people on committed to long-term results, you need to be working close with them. I just can't, you just couldn't, the capacity for what I could do couldn't help 50 people every single week. And it was heartbreaking. And not only was that a core reason for why it didn't, why I tried to change things within the system, not only was that because I seen too many people or whatever, but because people had just lost hope. Like, they just didn't believe it. They'd leave, obviously, my clinic feeling like the same as what they came in because we're not, I wasn't doing massage, I wasn't getting the massage gun out, I wasn't doing deep tissue work, I wasn't doing these quick fixes, I wasn't doing any stretching or anything. I was trying to get them started with a rebuild journey, but they couldn't see it because the reason that they come and see me is to feel better within the 45-minute time slot that we have. But that isn't the sole goal. So I was fighting a losing battle, and this isn't their fault. There's no way this is their fault because that's the system's fault. The system has implanted this belief in their mind that that their only choice, their only option is to just go see someone for 45 minutes every week and then just maybe they see them on the Wednesday, then that'll tick them over to the Friday and then they'll be in pain over the weekend and back to the Wednesday. They just wait for the next appointment on the Wednesday. That's not their fault that they believe that. That's the system has installed that into their brain. And this doesn't just happen overnight. I didn't just think, oh, this isn't working, let's change something. It was one very, very, very specific moment that made me be like, right, I can't keep seeing 50 people every week. I'm not getting any results. It was unfulfilling, right? Seeing 50 people per week and not being able to get any long term results with them. So there was one moment in particular, and one client, and I won't use his name, we'll call him Jack just now, right? And Jack came to me, it was a typical 45-minute appointment, and he said, an initial discovery bit where I'm learning about him, asking him questions, he said that he'd spent about £10,000 on treatments on his back. That included temporary relief treatments, that included chiropractors, which is temporary relief, that included massages, that included private MRI scans, and most importantly, that included surgery. And if you're not in the UK, we get most surgeries, well, we get surgeries free here, it's free healthcare, but the waiting list is too long and he paid to go private. And this surgeon had told him that commit to this, get this surgery, however much the surgery was, it was £10,000 overall. I don't know how much the surgery was. But once you do this, you will be back to normal within 2 weeks. You'll be back to normal within 4 weeks. So long story short, the surgeon sold him a dream, he took it, he took the surgery, fine. 4 weeks later, or in fact, let's start before that. Straight after the surgery, it felt like something was off because he had no plan, he had no sort of rebuild phase, he had no strength building advice from anyone. The surgeon just sent him on his way out the door, thinking that the surgery was the last step. But if you know anything about this, surgery is just going to fix things temporarily. It's not going to rebuild anything from the ground up. It's not going to actually solve the root problem. Like, you're still going to be in the same position. You're still going to have no tolerance, no capacity, no strength. Your body's still not prepared for real life, right? So he had the surgery and was confused. 4 weeks later, after the surgeon said, just give it time, it'll get better, he was actually worse off. He phoned the surgeon. He said, oh, just give it more time, just give it more time, just give it more time. I think he came and seen me about 3-4 months after the surgery. And it was worse off than what he was before, or he would just continue to spirally get worse. And of course, as much as I wanted to help him long term, it was just, he came in to see me for temporary relief because that's all he believed in. Even the surgery didn't work. And that was the one moment where I felt, yeah, this is failing people. That this isn't working for people. Too many physios are just seeing so many people per week that they can't do anything with them. And everyone coming to see them are not even expecting anything from them because they've been let down so many times. They think all they can give them is temporary relief. So from that point forward, I started this, the Rebuild Your Back Club. And of course, this went on pretty well straight away as well. I take on, instead of seeing 50 people per week, I'd be lucky to work with 50 people every year. Genuinely. I take on maximum 5, 6 around that ballpark clients every single month. And that's it. This way, it allows me to build relationships with people, actually build a closeness with people, actually understand people, what they're going through, get more than 45 minutes, get more than a 45-minute appointment with them once per month or once every 3 weeks. And this is fulfilling. We can actually build things around them, and the people are coming in knowing everything. They may be booking a call with me and they already know what this is all about. They're not expecting any temporary relief. They're ready to commit to long term results. So that's why I started doing what I do. And that's why I don't care about getting out of pain, because surgery is something that technically gets you out of pain. It technically should at least mask the pain, right? But Jack, as mentioned, the client who changed everything for me, had had the surgery and was still in the same place. He still couldn't do anything. He still couldn't. I remember him saying he still felt like he couldn't bath his kids. He couldn't get on the floor, twist and play with them because his body wasn't ready for that. Surgery didn't prepare his body for that. It just took pressure off the nerve, which in theory should help with pain. But when your body's so unprepared for your life and it's got so little tolerance and strength and whatnot, he's still going to be stuck in the exact same position. And that's why I started the Rebuild Your Back Club. So when I say get back to yourself, this isn't a slogan. It's the actual reason for why I do this. Now, I'm not the most conventional physical therapist or whoever you've worked with. I'm not the most conventional healthcare professional. I will get you to work hard. I am. It's a commitment. It's hands-on to work with me. Of course, it's online, but it's hands-on in terms of it's constant, it's hard work, it's consistency. Given what I just told you that I don't believe in, it takes that consistency to get your life back, to feel 10 years young again. That's everything that I believe in. Not 10 years young again, to feel 10 years younger again. That is everything that I believe in. But if what I've just said about the mornings, about the flare-up cycle, about Jack, about of living instead of managing your life around this, if you don't want to just be as close to pain-free as possible and actually want to live like how you did when you were 25, 20 years old, if that's landed with you, that's not an accident. You resonate with my story really well. And that's why it's me doing this. That's why you trust me right now. Because you know all about the story. And you know all about why. I understand everything that you've been through. I've seen it from the inside and broke out it. That's why it matters that it's me and not someone else. If this is the first time that you've heard maybe a healthcare professional or just anyone talk about your back this way, then good. Because that's exactly the point. I'm going to leave a couple videos in the description about why it's good to act now and also the sort of outcomes that you can expect, what getting your life back looks like within the Rebuild Your Back Club. Check them out below. And I would also, if you've made it this far in the video, you resonate with my story, you probably feel like you've built a relationship with me already. Great. I want to feel the same. I would like to personally invite you to apply to the Rebuild Your Back Club in the description below. It's a free strategy call, roadmap call, discovery call, whatever you would like to call it, where we can talk about exactly where you're at. I can get a full picture of your story, and then we can discuss whether you would be a good fit to join on and commit to long-term results and commit to just all the values that I've said about not just being pain-free. Obviously being pain-free is part of it, but not just being pain-free, getting your life back, getting back to these things that you love to do, get back to leading that family hike, get back to not being scared of travelling anymore, get back to working without constantly shifting around, and just feel 10 years younger again. Hit that link below and I'll see you on the inside.